to TAZ's Wig Closet at Wig Studio One. I have a doozy of a video for you today. We're going to check out. So my husband and I really haven't gotten away from home on a real vacation since October of 2020 when we went to Las Vegas for a few days. And mainly the reason why is because I've had such severe perimenopause symptoms that honestly I didn't feel comfortable making future plans, let alone leaving the house sometimes. I've got all kinds of issues. That is a video for another day, so stay tuned. Sometimes I feel like when I share, I don't want to complain because I am so blessed and I don't want to appear to complain. Some women just suffer more than others. This is my cross to bear. But once I get through to the other side, I think I'll be better able to look back and do a video on that so that women out there that are suffering extensively don't feel so alone. So this year we decided to do more of a staycation. The first couple of days we went to, I live in Ohio, so we went to Cincinnati, which is about 2.5 to 3 hours south of my current location. And we stayed there for 2 nights. And then we came home, but then all the rest of the week, we did little day trips. Don't underestimate day trips. It was fabulous fun. Plus I got to sleep in my own bed every night and it was just an amazing time. So I don't have a lot of photos and videos to share, but enough that you can get a sense of how these wigs look and act in real life. I have to tell you that the wig that I'm impressed with the most is the one that I'm wearing here. This is Belle Tresses Morning Storm in Champagne with Apple Pie. This is the star of the show. I love this wig for so many reasons. It's super easy to wear. It's a straight across bang. It's really short. It's flirty, breezy, perfect for summer. It's cool and it's cute no matter what. So the only thing I've done to this wig since the review is that I went in and trimmed just a little bit of the bang area just to make it so that when it's worn straight down, it doesn't flop right in my eyes. It's a 4-inch bang that will land directly on my eyelid unless I bring it up just a tad. So I used some thinning shears to do that, but that's it. That's all I have done. Looks beautiful, doesn't it? But let me tell you, this wig has been through the ringer. On one of our day trips, we decided to take and spend the day at Cedar Point Amusement Park in Ohio. It's in Sandusky, Ohio, which is west of Cleveland, Ohio. So it's right up along the Lake Erie shore. And this park has been my favorite park since I was just a wee little kid. And the park seems to change the more I grow. So I've experienced it as a little kid, a teenager, a young woman before kids. Then I brought my kids up and we would go to the park. And now my husband and I are empty nesters and we're getting to discover this all over again. It is wild fun. Not thinking that we were gonna ride anything or like be big kids again, but that's exactly what happened. So we get up there and the first thing that met us when we got up there was a brand new roller coaster. Cedar Point is the roller coaster capital of the world. It is a thrill park. It's all about adrenaline. Of course, there's some other things too, and there's stuff for little kids and all kinds of places to eat and exhibits and different areas of the park. But it's really known for its roller coasters. In fact, I think up until recently, it held the record for not only the most roller coasters, but the largest or tallest roller coaster. My husband and I saw this first roller coaster as we walked through the front gate. Thank goodness I used a little bit of It Stays body adhesive along the lace front and I just held it in for a couple of seconds. This wig wasn't going anywhere, but I still had a concern. This is the first time that I've been on a roller coaster with a wig on. Not just any roller coaster though. It's fast, it goes upside down, it's, banks, it's just a thrill ride. So we got in line for it and the lines were really good that day because we went up on a Tuesday. And I thought, oh, I'm gonna love this coaster, I just know it, but I was a little concerned. So when I put my shoulder harness on, I kind of held on to the sides of my wig while I was going around, So it took up a hill and then it did a little loop and a swing and it was the best roller coaster I've ever been on in my life. It's one of their newer ones. It's really smooth. The ride was beautiful. We were just really pumped. We're like, yeah, we felt like kids again. My husband and I, I'm gonna be 55. We're experiencing this all over again, like it's the first time, like we're just dating or something. It was fabulous. My wig stayed on like a champ. So we went on some other roller coasters. There are probably 10 roller coasters in the park, or maybe even more than that. I think they said 16, but some of them are more for the littler kids. But all the big ones we went on and every one of them has a little something different. We rode the Millennium Force, which is the one I talked to you about with that huge monster hill that overlooks Lake Erie. It's great. that first hill, you know, you're going straight down, you get the effect of like zero gravity and your stomach ends up in your throat, and it's like, yes, you just get so pumped and it's so much fun. It's definitely a thrill. I didn't even think about my wig by the time I got on that coaster, because I had been on several and the wig stayed on beautifully. It was tossed and turned and tattered, it definitely was, but it didn't come off and it didn't look strange. So I was so pleased at how this wig held up even through roller coasters. Now when I came home, the wig was just, it was wind whipped, right? It was stringy, it was wind whipped. So all I did, rather than take a brush through it, which I didn't want to do, I sprayed it down really well with water. After I took it off, I just took a little bit of water and dabbed it onto that lace front. It lifted, that it stays very easily. It's water soluble, so I didn't have any trouble. But then I just doused the whole wig in some squirt of water. And then I added just a smidge of the John Renault Detangler conditioning spray, just a little bit of that, and I allowed it to dry. I have a feeling if I would have tried to desnarl it with a brush before I did that, it might have frayed some of the ends. It came out looking like new, like I had never worn it on 6 roller coasters going over 100 miles an hour in the wind. So I am so thrilled with this one, and hopefully you enjoyed the little pictures. Okay, so let's move on to my next one. So the first couple of days of our vacations / staycation, we went to Cincinnati for 2 days. I think I might have mentioned that. It was so much fun. We stayed 2 nights. When we got there, we had some dinner. But then each of the 2 mornings that we woke up, we got our exercise gear on and we went to the park. We love hiking, we love running. We ended up going both days to Eden Park, which was just around the corner. And Eden Park features some beautiful natural scenery. It's very walkable. But this particular park, we noticed, had this huge hill, like straight up, I don't know how many feet, but they had put steps, like different tiers of steps all the way up to the top. And when we got there, there were some ladies that were running up and then walking down, running up. They were using it as a workout space, which that really appeals to us because we are workout people. So we would run these steps. We run up the steps like Rocky, you know, throw our hands up in the air. I'll show you a little picture. And then we go back down and do it all over again. And let me tell you what, my legs were sore. Then we just took a walk around the park. There were so many different things to see. The art museum is right there at the top. So when you get up to the top, there's the parking lot to the art museum. Then you can walk around the back and they've got an amphitheater and then just so much to see. So we did that both mornings. We got up, put our workout gear on, and I wore this wig. This was my workout wig. Now, this is Ellen Villa's turn in Champagne Rooted. However, this is the old one. This is the one that I have had since the original, which is probably 4 years old. So I've sort of just relegated this to be one of those workout wigs that I can wear. I like this one, and I like the Tony Bratton Prestigious for workout wigs. This one was the one I chose to wear. And I can put a headband around it. I didn't do that this time. It wasn't too hot in the mornings, but it was perfect for, you know, running up and down those stairs, getting a really good workout in. And you really can't tell that it's a wig. Like, who works out in a wig? People just don't, I don't know, they don't look at you and wonder, hey, is that a wig? Because it looks so natural, because, you know, I'm integrating the wig into my lifestyle. There's nothing I won't do in a wig, as I demonstrated with the roller coasters. This is a part of who I am. So this is my workout wig that I took with me, wore it both mornings as we explored the parks and did our workout. So let's see what else I took. So I like to pack as much variety as I can when I go somewhere. And that's because I never know what kind of mood I'll be in or what I'm going to choose to wear. I just load in a bunch of outfits and wigs and decide when I get there to see what kind of a mood I'm in. So this is the Caliente style by Beltrez in the color Tres Leches Blonde. This went with me to Cincinnati and I did wear it. We went out to dinner. Ever since COVID, it just seems like we can't get a good meal anywhere. Like, the service is terrible. I'm not blaming anyone at all for this, because the poor people that they can find to to do the work. They're overworked, so they're doing the best that they can. But I think that the quality of food and the service have all suffered since supply chain shortages, since the COVID layoffs and different things. So I was always just pretty disappointed with our expensive meals when we go out. So I really wasn't expecting a whole lot for this dinner, but we had the most fantastic dinner. Yeah, it was at the cafe. It was at the Hard Rock Cafe. I think I had a steak burger and we had just some pub food, really. It wasn't anything spectacular, like fancy wise, but it was so good. I couldn't believe it. This was the first dinner that we've had out since 2020 that was actually really good. And the service was good. And I wore this wig to the casino. So obviously I wore this wig to dinner as well. This is a standby for me. This Caliente, one of my favorite all-time wigs, right up there. I just love it. I just love the length of it, the curl of it, the natural look of it. Heat-friendly fiber, very light textured. And it looks great every single time. I have so many Calientes. I was looking the other day. I'm gonna have to do a Caliente party and invite everybody. Would you come to my Caliente party? Let me know in the comments. So here's another style that I took with me to the Cincinnati weekend getaway. And I have to reach out and say thank you, Betsy. Betsy, I love ya, girlfriend. You send me these wigs that she doesn't wear. She sends me wigs that she doesn't wear and says, Taz, let's see what you can do with it. This one made me so happy. I wore this one the most when we were in our Cincinnati trip. So we went down on a Friday. We stayed Friday night. We were there all day Saturday. We stayed Saturday night and we were there Sunday and came home Sunday. So we did a lot of stuff while we were there, and Miss Leah too really hit the mark for me. I absolutely adore it. This is Ellen Villa's Leah 2. Now remember, this isn't the original Leah that I had reviewed before. And I forgot to ask Betsy what color this was, but I'm pretty sure it's the sandy blonde one. I couldn't be more thrilled with the color and the style. Now, true to Betsy's form, she always puts in a little bit of a baby bang on her styles. Remember, I featured the Tia Maria that she sent me, and she put just a wee little baby bang. She got me hooked on the baby bang. And I will do that to a lot of my styles now. If I know for sure I'm gonna keep them and wear them and enjoy them, I might put a little bit of a baby bang. So I can see here where Betsy trimmed in just a little bit of a shorter fringe. It's not too dramatic, but it frames the face beautifully. Look at these point cut and razored ends here. A beautiful lightweight line, all this modern texture. Betsy, thank you again. I wore this one to a coffee shop. So all day Saturday, we were going to explore an area called Over the Rhine, if I'm not mistaken, Over the Rhine. There's a Rhine River that runs right down through there. And it was like an old German settlement, if I remember correctly, but it's just nothing but boutiques, shops, restaurants. There are 3 craft beer breweries in the area. My husband and I love visiting those, just a sample. So I've got a lot of pictures that I'll show you. So we started out at the, I think it was an Emporium, which is the name of the coffee shop. And it was a beautiful morning. We just sat out outside and had our coffee drinks. And then we headed down towards, we just started walking. And we headed down towards all the shops and everything. And we didn't get back to our hotel room until probably 6 o'clock that night. We were out all day, and so was Leah. Isn't it gorgeous? This is just up my alley. So I'm not really a fan of straight styles, but when they're short and they have a modern textured layers to them, a nice weight line here, I really am in love with this piece. This features a lace front and mono part. It's kind of a low profile, but I could get a little bit of lift where I needed it right at the front. This is a heat-friendly synthetic fiber. Gorgeous. Okay, so hope you enjoyed the pictures. Next up, I really love this one, and I did some additional alterations to it. This is the Gabor's Trend Alert in Shaded Biscuit. I have a full review out there on it. But the first thing I did was add a bang because it had these really heavy sides that wanted to flop right in my face. And so I did a little Betsy move here and put in a baby bang, and I have a video on how I did that as well. But I still felt like these sides were just so long because it was more of an angled cut. these sides went down to here. So I took about 2 inches off of the sides right here. And I thinned it out just a little bit because it was so heavy right there around the face. So I think I am done altering this and I can just enjoy it now. I took it with me to Cincinnati, and actually I just did a lot of riding in the car. You know, when we were traveling around and doing things, I had this wig on. I didn't use it for any special excursions, but it was on me quite a bit. Just around the hotel, you know, we had breakfast in their little cafeteria area. Ended up working beautifully for what I needed it for. And this is going to be one of those wigs that I wear a lot when I take my mom out for errands and things during the week. So again, Trend Alert Modified in Shaded Biscuit. Let's check out my next one. You'll probably remember this one. It's always sitting back here on the rack somewhere. And honestly, I think that's why I picked it up, because I thought, oh, this will be cute to wear to a baseball game. So my husband and I love to watch baseball. And our home team was always the Cleveland Indians. Of course, now their name has changed to the Cleveland Guardians. So we went up to see a Cleveland Guardians game during the week. It was fantastic weather. It was slightly overcast. It was in the 70 to 75 degrees. It was gorgeous. And so I knew it wasn't going to be too hot. So I decided to wear this one with a little cut off top. I didn't have any Guardians jerseys or anything to wear because I hadn't bought anything new since it was the Indians years ago. But we had a fantastic time. We got to the park. We had some great seats, just him and I. And that is the first time that just him and I have been to that baseball park since before we had kids. So it has been so long. And this was just another excursion that we took that sort of, we got to know ourselves again as people and not just parents. Does that make sense? I have just enjoyed this week so much. It got us back in touch with who we are as people and how we relate to each other outside of being mom and dad. It was just perfect. So we got there and I had have to have an ice cold beer and some peanuts. So I had my beer and my peanuts and I was all set. And then later on in the game, I think it was 6th inning or so, I had a hot dog, one of the hot dogs that they sell there with the stadium mustard. Love it. But we just had an amazing, amazing time at the baseball park. But this is, in case I forgot to mention, so excited about these little trips. This is Beltres's Amber Rock and Tres Leches Blonde. I have a full review out there on it. I always tend to twist back those sides just to get the bulk away from the sides there. Love the texture of it though. It's just this beautiful intact spiral, thick, coarse spiral, crimped almost texture. But we had a fantastic day. And so thank you for watching this entire video. I know it ran long, but I wanted to share with you all the wigs and my excursions. Life has been a bit boring, but this has really opened my eyes. And despite some of the menopause symptoms and perimenopause symptoms that I continue to have, such as nausea, anxiety, bleeding, I just don't feel like leaving the house much. But I'm so glad that my husband made me do it, because he really encouraged me hard. And he always gave me an option. Look, if we get up there and you don't feel good, welcome home. And so he always gives me the option, but I'm like, no, I'm so determined, I'm gonna do this. And it was the best week that I've had in a very long time. Thanks for joining me today for a look at all these beautiful wigs and to hear a little bit about my vacation. We'll see you soon on TAZ's Wig Closet.